Russia, inaccessible to the rest of the world for so long. Now, open borders spill its secrets. In its heart lies a place of surprises. Siberia. Not only a frozen wilderness, it is a region of incredible diversity, of precarious beauty and endangered animals, where wildlife and wild lands amaze. This is Siberia. At 70 times the size of the United Kingdom, but with just over twice the population, Russia remains one of the world's great wildernesses. It sprawls across 10,000 kilometers, reaching nearly halfway around the world. Covering almost 10% of the planet's landmass is Siberia. Synonymous with punishing cold, parts of it can bake at 40 degrees Celsius. But think Siberia, think snow. Winter lives up to its reputation. From November to February, 100% of Siberia is snow-covered, sometimes 80 centimeters deep. But Siberia doesn't close for the season. Its residents just find it a little tougher to get things done. As ravens greet the morning, warmly insulated Eurasian wolves shrug off the cold. These social animals live and hunt in packs, sometimes as small as a pair, or, in prosperous times, as large as 3 dozen. A good-sized wolf pack can lord over a territory as large as 13,000 square kilometers. That's 5 times the size of Paris. They disturb a falcon, which in turn disturbs the ravens. Apparently, Siberia's 13 million square kilometers still isn't enough space. Howling, the wolf call to arms, gathers the pack and warns other wolves to back off. The chorus can carry for 10 kilometers. A strong sense of smell helps locate carrion, or live prey. Each animal could eat up to 9 kilos of meat and travel up to 200 kilometers a day. With the lake frozen solid, they eat the ice to quench their thirst. In the north of Siberia lies Yakutia, idyllic and picturesque. And also the coldest spot in the northern hemisphere. Temperatures here can plunge to minus 70 degrees Celsius. Yakut horses face it head-on. To help survive the harshest of winters, they keep movement to a minimum. Heavy hooves scratch away deep snow to uncover frozen grass. And now, in March, many are eating for 2, preparing to foal in May or June when the weather finally breaks. One dominant male mates with several females. Over the millennia, they've developed thick skin and dense fur to shield them from the cold. fat laid down last summer provides energy during the meager winter months, but not all will make it. Further north, another cold weather survivor truly clings to life. One of the rarest birds in the world, the critically endangered Siberian white crane. About 3,500 remain worldwide, and only 4 birds in western Siberia. Breeding pairs are precious. After spending the worst of winter in China, they travel almost 5,000 kilometers to breed in the isolated wilderness of the Russian tundra. With so few birds, their monogamy works against them, making breeding partners tough to find. But when they connect, both parents raise their young. The female lays 2 eggs, though generally only 1 chick will live. As their winter sites shrink, so does their chance for survival. Elsewhere, secretive animals lurk in forested shadows. With a face like a kangaroo and a vampire's teeth, the musk deer makes his timid way through the woods in search of lichens. Don't be fooled by the fangs. Males grow them for display instead of antlers. The older the deer, the longer the fangs. But it's the other end of the deer that attracts more attention. The male's musk gland produces a scent that's irresistible to does and perfume makers. Even though the deer have a poor sense of smell, the musk manages to attract mates. Unfortunately, the human trade in musk glands has reduced the deer's numbers dramatically. And because only 2/3 of the females have fawns each year, the population replenishes slowly. After feeding, they chew the cud, regurgitating their meal and chewing it again to help digest it. Though relaxed, he keeps alert. In a nearby clearing, ravens benefit from the death of one of the pregnant horses. Their sharp beaks can strip clean the picked-over carcass. The group name for ravens is an unkindness, and they are both fierce and intelligent. They can make over 30 different kinds of sounds. But howling wolves frighten even them. Wolves don't hibernate, so they're constantly on the prowl for food. In autumn and winter, packs become nomadic, moving from place to place in search of a meal. Guided by their sharp sense of smell, they'll hunt, steal, or scavenge, whatever it takes to fill their bellies. The hungry wolves attack the meat with such ferocity that they even intimidate each other. For the birds, it's time for some fun. Like mammals, birds love to play, and the ravens are some of the silliest. They can afford to. Adult ravens seem to lack natural enemies. Time for a quick brush down, and they're all done. Well, almost. The northern coniferous forest zone, called the taiga, caps off Siberia. The largest forest in the world stretches 7 million square kilometers. The northeastern section, Yakutia, the land of the horse people, brushes up against the Arctic Circle. And though Yakut horses do roam here, they don't roam alone. Through the hills of Yakutia comes a relentless army. Reindeer. A herd of 1,000 strong. Built for cold weather, reindeer, or caribou, have hollow, tapered hair that traps heat next to their bodies. They haven't come here by chance. It's an annual roundup. The Yakut are an ancient people, thought to have migrated north to Yakutia around 700 years ago. And while most have become urbanized, 400,000 still live as traditional nomadic herders. The herdsmen must get the animals to new grazing before the snow melts and they are trapped by waterlogged land. They need to grow fat in the warm weather if they are to endure the winter freeze. The elder of the tribe feeds them salt, a rare delicacy that makes him very popular. But walking in a forest of reindeer antlers is a dangerous business. As soon as they secure the reindeer, it's time to celebrate. By eating one. Starting with the tongue. Like cattle in other parts of the world, reindeer form the lifeline of these Yakut people. Everyone depends on them. The animals provide food, clothing, leather, and more. Left on their own, reindeer can wander farther than any other terrestrial mammal, about 5,000 kilometers a year, and reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour. In the summer, they can form herds in the tens of thousands. But for the Yakuts, this little herd will do just fine. In spring, as the weather finally warms, the rivers begin to unlock. Broken ice makes handy barges for lazy waterfowl. But the gaps in the ice also give golden-eyed ducks a chance to fish. Soon, they're out in force. They're not the only ones braving the cold waters. Dippers live up to their names, bobbing for small bugs and crustaceans. As parts of the river thaw, the birds flock to the grand openings. The retreating ice unleashes a remarkably hardy amphibian. The Siberian salamander. Compounds in their blood enable these newts to survive temperatures of minus 40 degrees Celsius. They can stay frozen solid for years before thawing and reviving as good as new. They then head for the cold water where they will mate and lay eggs, before freezing again next season. The Siberian salamander is one of only a few species on the planet that can survive the deep freeze like this. Moving 1,500 kilometers to Siberia's southern steppes, the landscape dramatically changes. Pine forests give way to what look like African plains. Here, wild horses run free. They share the land with small groups of camels and the strange goitered gazelle. These nomadic gazelles once roamed across Central Asia by the tens of thousands. But hunting and habitat loss have taken their toll. They meander across the plains, eating grasses and shrubs. In the autumn rut, the males' throats swell up, giving them their name. A threatened gazelle can dart from its enemies at 60 kilometers per hour. They slip like a breeze through the Mongolian border fence. Heading southwest along the 3,400-kilometer Mongolian border, the terrain turns mountainous. The Altai Mountains stretch 4,500 meters into the sky and are over twice as long as the European Alps. In this arid, harsh and windswept environment, the world's largest sheep make their home. The argali, weighing in at about 160 kilos, prized by hunters for their size. A male, with his harem, seems at peace. But even without hunters, the life of an alpha male is tense. A challenger comes. It takes over 3 years for a young male to grow the impressive adult horns, which can spiral to 190 centimeters long and weigh up to 20 kilos. The group of females